Good morning. This is Bobby Dupree with the Bobby Dupree Show, presented to you each Thursday morning at 7 a.m. And of course, it replays in its entirety on the cable and old-time rabbit ear units that you may still be using at home. And of course, we'll have by my side here Mr. I'll get it out in a minute. Matt LeBlanc. Yeah, Matt Landry, as Johnny Wright would say. Johnny Wright was an icon in Opelousas KSLO days. He had the voice, and he was real happy. I asked him to be on the Bobby Dupree Show because everybody knew the voice, but nobody knew for sure unless they met him in person for some reason, which was a lot of reasons. He moved around a lot. Don't get me wrong, but out there's so many other people. And he enjoyed that day, and I enjoyed that day.
He did. And I think he did it more than once, maybe like twice.
I think he did it twice.
Yep.
I think he and Sean Dejon did it one time.
Sean did it with him one time?
I think so.
Maybe so.
Boy, that was hard to keep Sean quiet. Well, but he respected. He would.
Anybody sitting with Johnny would have respected him.
Would have respected Johnny, right? You're right. But anyhow, let's get on with the program.
Sure.
And this is my assistant here today. My protege? No, you don't want that full-time job when I retire. You might.
I couldn't keep up with
that's
you.
3 months from now, you might just change your mind.
I don't think I could keep up with you.
Well, no, I won't be here. It'll be the Bobby Dupree Show by Matt LeBlanc.
Yeah.
And anyhow,
we'll see how that goes.
We'll see how that goes.
Let's talk about Steamboat Warehouse Restaurant in Washington. We want to remind you guys to go out there and try the food. It's absolutely unbelievable. You can see it on the screen right there. The ambiance is just second to none. It's right there on Bayou Catawba. It's where the steamboats used to actually turn around. I think it was the last stop between here and Missouri, if I'm not mistaken. There's Chef Jason Hugay preparing some food, and picture's worth 1,000 words. You can see it right there, folks. Steamboat Warehouse Restaurant. Like Andrew used to say, get Mama away from the smell of her own kitchen, huh?
That's correct. That is correct.
Go see them over at the Steamboat Warehouse. Visit them online at steamboatwarehouse.com. And we also want to tell you about Piggly Wiggly, your friendly neighborhood Piggly Wiggly in Opelousas. On the north side of town, you can go to Piggly Wiggly, and of course for all of your grocery needs. And if you go to their website, go to the Pig, you can see right here I'm showing you. I'll pull up the Opelousas store. All of their specials are right there. You can go right there and look at page 1 of their flyers and get all your specials before you go shopping and see exactly what you need to get. There you go. You got whole smoked pork picnic
and I'm sure
rolls
they can do that at Simsport also, right?
Simsport. This is for all the stores.
Yep.
You pick your location and it'll show you all the specials at that store. So do that right before you go shopping. Also visit their other location on Heather Drive. That's Cash Savers Grocery, and be treated to some really good prices over there also. Tell Joey we said hi.
Okay, and we'll get right into the programming. We have a lot to talk about, and we'll show a few pictures and go through the Pope's visit. We had showed one picture last week.
The Pope visited you?
Well, he visited.
You weren't home?
No, but I was home. He visited with me by way of television.
Okay.
by way of television, and I just have these are pictures that I took right there off my television one night. I was watching it and took pictures, and they came out pretty decent, and that was probably one of the last days right there, leaving St. Patrick's Cathedral. And wherever he went, whether he was riding through a community or he was attending some official destination that was pre-planned, like the House of Representatives, the Congress, and the Senate in Washington, D.C., he made a passionate plea in English, I might add, for that particular. And he spoke English at a few other events, which were kind of unexpected because he was the only one that he had planned on definitely making was the one with the Congress, meeting with them in Washington, D.C. And I think by and large, he must not create any problems, because I didn't hear of any kind of protest. Usually there's a protest for any dignitary that comes to another town, another country, of different religions and all the things that create animosity amongst people. Didn't witness any of that, didn't hear of any of it, and the media is pretty good on giving it to you, so it must have gone smooth. He's a very likable person. You and I were talking, Matt and I were talking just before going on the air. It looks like God retired the previous Pope and brought in Pope Francis at a time that the nation, the world, needs a person that seems to be able to cross across religions.
Right.
Even people that have no faith at all, they were listening to him, they respect him, and hopefully some of the things that he spoke about can be used in all of our lives, everyday life. And before maybe they go to raising hell and shooting people, they might think about a word or two that he said.
Right. Well, he's definitely the right guy for the job. There's no doubt about that. You can see that in his demeanor, in his personality. He's just likable. And that's the number one thing, being likable.
And right towards the end of it, Representative Boehner made an announcement that he was going to resign his position as a Speaker of the House. And there he is right there. And he's a devout Catholic himself. And when the Pope was giving his message, he was crying that day. And all this time he was contemplating making an announcement that he was going to resign the position and actually resign effective October the 30th from the Congress. And I guess that played a part of it, but I'm sure he had been contemplating this particular time of his life. He didn't feel he was able to lead properly. There's a third group that came into the play as the Republicans. There's the super conservative Republicans, the Tea Party they call themselves, or they've been called the Tea Party by whomever, themselves probably. And then you have the Democrats, and he just felt that he couldn't, the split within the Republican Party was maybe more divisive because of him. So he did what he felt was best for the nation. So Congressman Boehner, good luck to you, good health to you. And Pope Francis, I know you are welcome to come. I know it's not easy to say you're coming back in a couple of years or 3 years or 5 years, because everybody wants to have him visit, and he is making some, I think he spent
he's getting around,
6 days he
putting
spent
some
in the
miles
United
on that
States.
little Fiat.
Yeah, what about the Fiat? I mean,
that was just as much news as the Pope was. Everybody was concentrating on the Fiat.
Well, yeah, and that goes according to, from the first day that he became the Pope, he didn't go into the big Pope mansion that the previous popes had lived in recent years, or for many years.
Right.
And he went into, it was a building that was, it's sort of a hotel, but it's, I guess, apartments where he's living now.
He's leading by example.
Yeah, that's correct. Leading by good statement there. Okay, then we have, I had some visitors just before going on the air. 2 people that saw me recently, and we visited recently on the tour, do you remember the name of it? The tour,
it is Retrace the Route of the Acadians,
the
but I don't remember the actual name.
The tour something. The tour Saint Martinville, I think, because
I think so, yes.
That's where we ended up. We started in Leonville, pontoon boat rides, and then we ended the day in Saint Martinville. A beautiful day. And this little nun here, Sister Jeanne d'Arc, she has been, she's finished her her studies, and she's now a full-fledged nun. And the young man is a brother, and I think he becomes ordained. He'll be ordained this coming May or June when the ordinations take place. And he's brother John Joseph. And both of them are living at Our Lady of the Retreat, Our Lady of Sorrows Retreat Center in St. Martinville. That's headed up by Father Champagne, who hails from Leonville.
Right.
And
Father Mike Champagne.
I want to make a visit there, and of course now I have a better reason to go. And they both watching the program since they've met me and wanted me to know that they enjoyed the program. And it's good to hear that some young people and that day I had 3 young nuns, or to become nuns, take their final vows, and 2 young priests.
Riding in your boat? Riding
in the boat. And then we had a older gentleman who was a priest, and he's from, I think it was New Mexico. And he comes down every year and visits. And anyhow, it was a very, very memorable day for me, and apparently it was for them too. Sure. And we wish them nothing but the very best. And it's time to take a 1-minute break.
We can, but before we take that 1-minute break, I want to mention something. And I'll mention this again a little bit later during the program, but this weekend on Saturday, if you're watching the program on Thursday, on Saturday at 6 p.m., we are going to have the UL football game on KLWB TV, that's channel 50.1. So make sure you catch that. It's going to be UL versus LA Tech, and I'll be coming to you at 6 p.m. live. Also on Tuesday... Now,
will you be able to catch it on this station?
On 50.1 KLWB. This is KDCG right now.
Yeah.
But that one will be on KLWB. So you'll get it on 50.1. Also, I want to remind you that on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, we're going to have the annual Opelousas Rotary Club auction. So, of course, make sure that goes from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., and that's on KDCG, this station. And make sure you call in to place your bids on various items. They're going to have a lot of good stuff up for sale for a fraction of the price, and all profits go to a good cause. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the second quarter of the Bobby Dupre Show, and hopefully you settle down and you're relaxing, and if you're driving, well, be careful, because today some of them watch the program on their cell phone. Or,
I hope not while they drive.
But not while they're driving, but somebody in the vehicle might be listening to it and have it loud enough to where they can at least
distract them enough.
Gotta
be careful. Gotta be careful.
Okay. Anyhow, welcome back. My sidekick here, Matt LeBlanc. And we have a couple of sponsors right away, please.
Sure. Let's talk about Targill Butcher Seasoning and Kitchen Supplies over on Wartell Avenue in Opelousas. You can see Targill for all of your kitchenary needs, like cutting boards, knives, all good stuff. This isn't the cheap stuff. This is the really good stuff at good prices too. But if you want chef quality material, and your pots, your pans, your knives, your cookware, things like that, go see them over at Targill. And also for all of your seasoning needs, if you're a business in need of getting a nice little Christmas gift packaged for you, they can create their own seasoning for you. They'll package it up real nice for you, and they'll distribute it to whoever you need to. So see them at Targill. Visit them online at www.targill.com. And we also want to tell you about St. Landry Homestead in Opelousas and Eunice and Port Barre. St. Landry Homestead, of course, for all of your banking needs. And you can see right here, Daily World awarded them Professional Services Best Bank. And that's for a reason, I'll tell you that right now, because St. Landry Homestead does an absolutely wonderful job with all of their customers. I've been a customer for a long time. I used to have the little green savings book. You remember those?
Yeah, I've got one in my
I used to,
savings.
as a kid, boy, I'd look at that little thing, see how much money I had in it. I remember St. Landry Homestead from way back then. But of course, for all your personal banking, business banking, e-banking solutions, they've got it all for you. So go see them over at St. Landry Homestead, and see them online at stlandryhomestead.com.
Let me just add something. I just thought about it. I remember on a Sunday lunch, Wilda and Cody were over at the house, and of course I was a youngster then, and Wilda was working at St. Landry Homestead. That's Cody's wife, my brother's wife, my sister-in-law.
Right.
And I asked her if I could open an account. She said, sure. I said, well, I have $5. And Daddy says, oh, no, you can't go and open. They won't take a $5 open an account. And she said, no, Mr. Dupre, they will take it. And that's why I opened my first savings account as a youngster. Was $5 at the homestead. God's been good to me. I'm going to close my case. Thank you, Wilder.
All right, that's it. That's our two sponsors.
That
We've got
was
them out.
two.
Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Sure.
Charity golf event. It'll take place on the 5th, which is Monday, this coming Monday. Angela Guidry called me and gave me some information, and then I thought I had cut it out of the newspaper. The article was in the Daily World Wednesday, September 30th. And she gave me the information, and it was the same information in the paper. So good. You did a good job, Angela. What it is they used to have a Halloween party to raise money, and this year they're going to try something different, boogie ball. And what it is let's see what it says here. Yeah, this year's fundraising is putting for a purpose. That's going to be the theme, putting, golf putting. And it's going to be $100 per player. They're going to be 3 people per team. And the first the tee off will be at 8 a.m. in the morning. And you can register from 7 to 8 if you haven't pre-registered. And for the afternoon, which will start, tee off will be 1 o'clock. You can register from 12 to 1, or if you're there before, I'm sure they're going to take your registration. They'll have people there all morning. And what it is all the money that is raised will be primarily goes to 20 agencies that United Way of St. Landry Parish and Evangeline, St. Landry Evangeline Parish. All the money primarily goes for these 20 agencies. And such as Big Brothers, Big Sisters, Boys and Girls Clubs, Scouting, food banks, emergency shelters, services for the elderly, family counseling, on and on. I know...
So good cause, for
Good
sure.
causes, you bet. So that is this coming Monday, the 5th. So if you like to play golf, the golf course is usually closed on Mondays at Indian Hills. I forgot to mention Indian Hills Country Club. And right there in Opelousas, and of course, we'll probably have several players coming in from the Lafayette area, Ville Platte area, since they're part of the St. Landry Evangeline area of United Way. United Way reminded me of two firms that I remember that are not here. Well, one of them is here, but the leadership has changed. And Louisiana, Mr. Ted Shod was a big believer in United Way, and would put up the money. If the goal was $75,000, I remember one year they only raised like $60,000. He sat down and wrote a check for the difference. I remember Mr. Ted taught a lot of us on opening our pocketbook and being more generous. You know, you lead by example.
There you go.
And another outfit that gave a lot of money and a lot of volunteer time on top of the money that they raised was Valero. And of course, Valero sold the plant in Krotz Springs, and hopefully Anon is doing some of those same things. I don't know the leadership of Anon, but hopefully they are.
They are, actually.
And when Valero was here, the president of Valero, which is the home office is in San Antonio, Texas, he was the president of the National United Way. Oh. And if you wanted to rise in that company, you better be doing some charity work and giving monthly contributions.
The world needs more of that.
It was an unsaid policy. That was not a policy in the book, I don't believe, but it was known that he gave and he expected the company personnel to also give. Anyhow, just wanted to bring those two fond memories that I've had with United Way. Was people like that taught me to be generous with my time on my program when I talk about them, spend enough time to give some good local stories. Okay.
Absolutely.
Let's go. What we have? How many minutes? We have.
You got about 8 minutes left.
About 8 minutes left. Okay. Let's start with a few. Well, let me give one of them before I go to pictures. I don't have a picture on this one this week. We could have pulled them up. The Tenstead Center in Grand Coteau, Louisiana. It's a group that's trying to regroup, I guess you could say. It's got some new blood. Butch Schumann, who has been known to, we've known each other for a long time, but hadn't seen each other in years. He's really working and spending a lot of time there in Grand Coteau to help that group reorganize and be able to do more for the community. That's the whole idea. He's working very closely with the director, Miss Julia Richard. And they're having a bingo. Their first bingo event will take place on Sunday, August the 4th, from 11 a.m. in the morning to 3 p.m. in the afternoon. They're going to have po' boys, cold drinks, snacks, and at a concession stand within it. So just come with your pocketbook and a few dollars to play. It doesn't cost a lot to play the bingo games. It's got some real nice prizes. And at the same time, you're going to be helping the group raise money and do some more. I showed some pictures last week of a family from Lafayette that has completely renovated the bottom floor beautifully. And now they're going to begin working on the second story of it. And they're doing this anonymously, so I'm not going to mention the family name, but just things, people see the value of rejuvenating the Tenstead Center. It's a center to help people that need help. And Grand Coteau has St. Landry and Lafayette and St. Martin Parish, all of them benefit somewhat because they're also close to these three parishes. And of course, they're part of St. Landry. Okay, good luck to you all. And Butch, don't forget, I want to give you a contribution for that.
You want to bring up some pictures?
Yeah, we have time. Let's go with the pictures at Kelly's Diner. Let's see what. There we go, right there. Paul, look at Kelly on the right. Kelly Cormier and his wife Elaine were putting on a supper. They do this once, twice a year. The chief of police of Opelousas, Donald Thompson, better known as DT. Well, now we call him chief, of course. Yep. And in the center with the white shirt is Paul Mouton, who's the city marshal for Ward 1, Opelousas, Louisiana. And directly in the back, the only picture I have of Johnny Benoit is that picture there. And of course, Johnny is very close to most of the people that are in these pictures. I'm kind of an outsider. They let me in. Well, I've been invited 2 or 3 times other than this time. But anyhow, let's roll the pictures kind of slowly. There's Miss, I'll get it out, Miss Genora, I'll get it, Miss Genora. And the lady, the second lady right there, I just can't pick, I know her, I apologize. Didn't have time to talk to Elaine and Kelly. And go ahead, let's roll them. And then that's Vicky right here. When I talk about Vicky, that is Vicky. And the lady that she's talking with is Miss Verby. And that she is the wife of Mr. Johnny that I pointed out in the picture, kind of far in the back of the picture. Okay. So having a good time. This is Mr. Eric Lohr, originally from the Eunice Mowater area. And right in the back of him, well, we have another picture of Mr. Nathan. That is actually Kelly's brother. Not big, and he's tall as Kelly probably, but he ain't as thick as Kelly. He weighs less than Kelly. And the gentleman he's talking to is in the red shirt is Mr. James. He was very successful construction owner and built some big projects throughout the South. Okay. And I'm not sure with the connection there. Father Leger on the right, along with we saying the prayer prior to eating our food. And the lady in the red is Miss Nola. And the lady in the blue is, let's see, I have her blue, Jane, and that's Eric Law's wife, if my memory serves me right. And then move the, okay, and this is Mr. George Cormier. I'm not sure if they're related or not, but he's from the Church Point area. And the man in the blue, I'm sorry, I couldn't get the name, didn't have enough time. The man standing up right now is CJ, and I think the last name is Ringgold. And mayor of Opelousas is Reggie
Tatum.
Reggie Tatum, and Kathy. And of course, Kathy works here at Delta.
Sure does.
Media, and worked for us at KDCG in Opelousas for many, many years. And back to that picture, I think we might have a couple. We have a couple more.
Yeah, and just kind of scan through them right
There's
there. Oh,
Nathan. That's Kelly. You see how he's stirring that pot, but you don't stir that pot much because you're cooking couvillon.
Yeah, yeah. You don't want to break it up.
You don't break it up. And that's Miss. I'll get it out in a Miss Betty, John Kelly Lejeune, and that's Betty Lejeune, and she made the next dish of, oh, you talk about good, delicious.
Some chess pieces.
Yep, chess pieces. That's time consuming.
I'm sure.
And Vic is serving, that might have been my piece there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I ate 2 of them. I got to be honest with you all. It was that good, Miss Betty. And that's it. That's the pictures.
That's
anyhow,
all the pictures.
to everybody there that night, if I didn't name you, I apologize. I got to do a better job when I get a whole big group like that. But I want to thank Kelly and his wife Elaine. That's really nice.
Yeah.
Went by. Cindy was there, but Cindy must have come in a little late. Their daughter, and that's who I got a few of the names with yesterday. Right. Couldn't get a hold of Elaine. Well, no, we called Elaine on the phone. That's right. She did help too. Kelly was out of pocket. But anyhow, it's nice of them to do this for friends like this.
Absolutely.
And I might add that there was another person that came in a little later. She was out politicking, and that was Ladrika Theory, state rep now running for the 24th District of Senate for the state of Louisiana, and she came in a little bit later, and I didn't take a picture, but we'll talk about her in a picture a little bit later.
There you go. Well, it's time to take another break, so let's go ahead and do that, and we'll come back in 1 minute.
Welcome back to the third quarter of the Bobby Dupre Show. We're moving quite rapidly, it looks like. We have some more good pictures and some more good stories to tell, all good, clean entertainment for you and the family. And we've got a nice looking little young man right here, but we want to get our 2 sponsors in.
Sure. Let's talk about our good friends over in Port Barre with Dixie Storage. Well, they're in Port Barre, they're in Opelousas, and they're in Washington with a whole lot of storage space. If you need storage, they are who you need to see. Over 1 million square feet of combined storage and growing. There's actually some more than that right now, so I need to get an updated figure from Joey, huh?
Right.
Yeah. But, of course, Dixie Storage, for any kind of storage you need, they have rail spur access at their Port Barre location. So if it's industrial commercial storage, no problem. They can ship it off right there from you or accept shipments right there. So see them at Dixie Storage. Don't forget about their sister company, A+ Glass, for all your glass needs. And they also have Dixie Signs and McCormick Realty. Yep. All of those kind of under that one umbrella, the McCormick umbrella. And these guys are great to deal with, I do have to say that. So make sure you go see them on Dixie Storage and check out their website at dixiestorage.com. And we want to remind you, if you are on the north side of Opelousas, possibly heading to Steamboat, huh?
That's good.
Yeah, there you go. Just make sure you pull off at exit
23
and check out the Quarterz Casino and Travel Plaza. They got Hunt Brothers Pizza, they've got Subway, they've got El Pico de Gallo, authentic Mexican restaurant. So if you don't quite make it to
Chevron Fuel.
Chevron Fuel, and of course another two in the same pod that have industrial scales, the cat scales. Both Dixie Storage and Quarterz Casino both have those industrial certified scales. Absolutely.
That's correct.
So Quarterz Casino, while you're there, try your luck at many of their slot machines, the video poker machines, all the newest and updated video poker machines there for you. And I hear people do pretty well there. So go see them, Quarterz Casino, and visit them online at quarterzcasino.com.
Okay. We'll take some of these pictures that I had taken just before going on the air.
There we go. What's this one?
This is Amazing Kids is the name of this particular article. Philanthropist John W. Picard, age 13, already giving back. And of course he has heard about giving in his particular family all the way back to his grandpa, who was the former state superintendent of education and a state senator, Cecil Picard, from the Abbeville area. And this young man is a son of Tyron Picard and Mrs. Picard, of course. And I just mentioned his grandpa was Cecil Picard on his daddy's side. On his mama's side is James Guglielmo, very well known attorney in Opelousas, partner with Jim Lopez, my attorney.
And
so
Gina Tuttle and Hunter and Lopez.
No, that's correct. Well, that's his grandpa. So he's got good bloodlines to give. They're all very generous, very successful, and he, of course, learned that his particular family gave to the Lafayette Catholic Service Centers and the Society of Our Lady of the Most Holy Trinity Mission in Haiti. So he's seen that all of his life, and he's got a goal to go over attend the University of Notre Dame, and after graduation, he hopes he can become a lobbyist like his dad, Tyron Picard, owns the Picard Group, which was formed probably 5 years ago. Tyron Picard was one of the movers and shakers over at LHC Group, our good sponsor of the program here. So anyhow, this young kid has got some good bloodlines, should do well. What about this fundraiser that the VFL stands for Vest for Life? This is a first annual. They hope to make this an annual event, started by Beverly Stelly and friends, and her daughter Lisa's the one, Lisa Adams, called me and got this over to me, the flyer, and it's going to be a fundraiser, and it's going to be on Saturday, October the 10th at the Yambali Festival Building, which is located on West Landry Street in Opelousas. And it's going to be centered around a gumbo cook-off. And that's
all you got to say to get me there.
Yep, that's right. You go around and you taste, and you full by the time you do about 20 or 30 of these cook-off entrants. And of course, they're going to have music, and it looks like they're starting off with a real good set of musicians. Leroy Thomas of the Zydeco.
Leroy Thomas and the Zydeco Roadrunners.
Roadrunners, you're right. And who is this
Step
one?
Rito,
Step
and
Rito.
then Patrick Henry, and then Lil Pookie, Leon Chavis,
and Cedric.
I can't see that one. Cedro Ballou. Ballou. I'm not sure about that one.
Real good admittance charge is only $20, and of course, like I said, this is to buy a vest for the various units of police protection, and of course, it's going to also to buy equipment for the first responders of the community. Beside the law enforcement, the first responders are going to fill into this. So. Miss Beverly, we'll try to make sure we come back with this next week.
Very important.
But put that down, put it into your calendar right now on your phone. Start learning. I've learned how to use my phone calendar.
Yeah.
And it's a good reminder. And this is a good cause. She, of course, hails from Orneville, Louisiana, so she needs some help.
My neck of the woods.
That's right. They can't do it by themselves. What about James Dupre?
That's your cousin?
Well, we can go to the. You want to do the one with the Pope meets a family that drove 13,000 miles to see him. Look at this. The first one on the right is the mama and 2 kids, and there's two families. There's there's 2 adults and 2 children, I think it is. They drove 13,000 miles from the same country.
From Argentina.
Argentina,
I think, huh?
That's correct.
Wow.
And they, of course, knew the Pope before he became a Pope. They didn't know him personally, but they knew of his reputation.
Right.
And they started out 190 days ago to get there in time.
Wow.
And they're going to go back as far as Florida, and then somebody else is going to take the little, and that's a little Volkswagen. You remember, what, about 2 months ago I showed a little Volkswagen
sure did, yep.
That a couple had gone to Arizona to purchase, and they were hauling it back. But that was their 3rd one. They're in love with them.
Oh, those little things are popular.
And he showed me, the gentleman showed me a little box, and that's the total parts and tools that he feels you need to travel in a Volkswagen Bug, the old-time Bug. So anyhow, lots of good things happening.
German engineering.
Right. And
there you go.
There's Mr. James Dupre, woos coaches on The Voice. And he hails from Bayou Chico, and he sang Let Her Cry. And they were impressed enough, along with the fans that watched that program, and it's a very interesting program, easy to watch. And he signed on with the team Adam Levine. And everybody thought he was going to sign on with Blake Shelton's team, but he didn't. He chose the other one. And I guess they offered him a better deal, or he just felt that he could learn more, get more advancement.
Well, we've had him on Swamp and Roll.
That's what. Sure great! Well, there you go. We're talking about somebody that's participated on the.
A couple of stars on Swamp and Roll: Hunter Hayes and James Dupre.
What about the Highway 190 Memorial honors a murder victim? Ron Bergeron and Representative Ladrika Theory prepared to launch balloons after unveiling the Davina Chapman Memorial Highway sign in Krotz Springs. That was last Friday. And of course, Ladrika is very active in the area, and of course she wants to spread her experience that she has, 2 terms in the legislature, very well educated. She's an attorney by education, but she also has a little small business, has a local insurance agency. So she is well experienced, and the upcoming session that is facing the newly elected governor, whomever that's going to be out of the top 4, and a lot of the incumbents are going to be back, but they need to be prepared for a real rocky road. So experience is going to be very important, and Ladrika, of course, brings that to the table. And they're having this weekend, this Sunday, Sweet Talk they call it, political gathering, Sunday, October the 4th, and that's going to be from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m., and it's located on the west side of I-49 Service Road next to Stage Clothing. That's Sonia's Donuts.
Oh, yeah.
And all candidates are invited, and we'll recognize them. They won't be able to speak, but we're going to recognize them, and we invite them to bring some of their fans with them and mingle around and meet people. It's a meet and greet with no bashing of other candidates. There'll be none of that. And of course, come meet your next state senator for District 24, Ladrika Theory. We'll talk more about her later on between now and Election Day, October the 24th. New coffee house, what about that? The new coffee shop opens in Grand Coteau, Louisiana. And Grand Coteau Mayor Shatriel Johnson Center congratulates Patricia Lewis and Wesley Guitros on the grand openings last Saturday of Chicory's Coffee and Cafe on LA one night, downtown, right at the red light. There's one red light in the town, and it's right there at that corner. Is where this cafe is. I kind of recognize it.
Yeah,
in the background.
I know the one you're talking about right there.
And I think that was badly needed. They're going to be
I think
open.
that'd be nice.
Yeah, I think they're open in 7 days
there's
a week.
There's a big truck stop coming right there, and they have also the McDonald's that came into Grand Coteau's.
And then Robert Frugier in the back of this particular street here. This is Martin Luther King.
Right.
But right on the backside, I don't know the street name yet, but I saw the construction. Now, they are moving people into those buildings.
Good.
He built some beautiful little...
Grand Coteau's growing.
Yes, sir. Grand Coteau is growing.
It's a very nice little
Mayor
town.
Johnson will certainly work hard to encourage people to come and not just do business there, but come and shop and visit. Very historic community. The Catholics, the Jesuits did a lot to develop that little community and are still very active in the community, I might add. Okay, what about Chris Wartell, Advertisers Society and Causes reporter? Chris does a wonderful job. She's got some connections, of course, in Opelousas. She was married, if I recall correctly, to a Wartell. I don't know the exact, what was the, I don't think they're married anymore, but don't hold that against me. She does a great job of going in and finding out happenings. Like we got to invite her to come to the Santa breakfast this year and give us some publicity. She takes good pictures, writes nice little short articles about what's going on in Acadiana. So, Chris, we're challenging you to give me a hand here.
There you go.
Might want to interview us before then, so you can help us with our drive, and that's going to be the first Wednesday of December, like every other one we've held. Still quilting at 92. What about that? Mrs. Ivy Ortigo has quilted for most of her life. She and her husband ran a grocery store, passed it on, they sold it to members of her children, and through all the working she did in the grocery store, she always had a quilting project on the way. And now she does children's blankets because they're a little bit smaller, so she can make sure she's at the end of one at all times. I just thought this was, and of course this was found in the Bonne Nouvelle Evangeline, the September edition. Yeah, this is probably the last edition I received. Her five children are still alive and happy, and a picture there of all of them. And the Bonne Nouvelle, I suggest you consider ordering. I think it's $15 a year. There's about 12 copies you receive. And they're very, very interesting, even if you're not from Evangeline Parish.
Sure.
Well, I was born in Evangeline Parish, raised in first 8 years, was in Plaisance, so very close there. Even today, a lot of the people in the Plaisance, Grand Prairie area do their buying and shopping and visiting in Ville Platte. So anyhow, Bobby Dardo does a great job of getting these articles out to us.
Well, look, we need to take a quick break. We got 1 minute, and we're going to be right back to finish up the show.
Welcome back to the fourth quarter of the Bobby Dupre Show, and we have two of our sponsors, if you'll get those. And
let's talk.
My sidekick, Matt LeBlanc, and my sidekick in the tech room is Mr. Dylan Guillory.
That's right. And of course, our sidekicks on the show, we've got Carl's Thrifty-Way we want to talk about. Carl's Thrifty-Way in Opelousas for all your medicinal needs. You still go see Carl's Thrifty-Way. And you cut out this from the paper right here, and it looks like, all of these symptoms: fatigue, hot flashes, foggy thinking, stress, mood swings, sleep disturbances, anxiety, and depression. It could be your hormones. And Carl's Thrifty-Way specializes. Call to schedule a free consultation. All their pharmacists have extensive training on hormone replacement therapy and compounding services. So go see them for your hormone replacement therapy. Carl's Thrifty-Way, that's at 2961 South Union, Opelousas. Also, we want to tell you about LHC Group. We're keeping it medical this segment. So LHC Group, of course, the motto is it's all about helping people. Louisiana Healthcare Group, of course, known for being involved all throughout the country with, I want to say it was 37 different locations all throughout the U.S. For all healthcare needs, LHC Group is there, but in Opelousas particularly, Louisiana Hospice and Palliative Care, they can take care of all of end-of-life facilities and
helped me with the death of my little man, Gene Labbe, when Gene died.
Yeah, and they do an absolutely wonderful job. And you know, if you don't believe us, just ask around, and there's enough testimonials out there to tell you that LHC Group, Louisiana Hospice and Palliative Care, will take care of you in a very dignified way.
Okay, the next thing that I want to speak about is a Angola bus ride, and this is not a bus ride with the Sheriff's Department. This is a bus ride, and it's the 7th annual Angola Rodeo and Mentoring Bus Ride, and it's scheduled for Sunday, October the 25th. Opelousas Alderman Tyron Glover's Foundation is organizing the free event. It's set aside for ages 5 to 17 are encouraged to attend. More than 140 young men are expected to attend, with 3 buses providing the transportation. And I have a check here, Tyron, that I'd like to get to you as quick as I can. I'll put it back in my pocket when I get back to Opelousas, try to get it over to you. I know it's costly to bring these youngsters, and it's a good opportunity to see firsthand the other side of life. Hopefully these youngsters that are going to sign up, maybe some of them have already tasted just a little bit of problems, maybe gotten a little bit, didn't get written up or nothing, but got spoken to by some law enforcement, some teacher or principal at a school, some event they were attending and got called down. And this is to go, if you don't follow rules and regulations, this is a location at Angola where you could end up, and you certainly don't want to. So,
right.
Tyron, thanks for providing this service and trying to get these youngsters to see the other side. And I have a picture. It just so happens that I pulled this picture just recently, and on the left, that's a while back. Yep, it's a few years, but I mean it's in my lifetime. I'm in the picture. On the left is former Mayor John Valian. Next to him is a former state representative we call him Doc Hudson. Doc Hudson. And he's deceased also. And then of course next to him is his son, Donovan Hudson, who, by the way, now that I'm thinking about it, he's running for Ladrika's position that she's going to be giving up at the next session that'll take place around the turn of next year. He is one of the candidates for District 40. And next to him, of course, is Big George Foreman. And when I say big, look how small I look, and I'm not that small a guy. I weigh 180 pounds today. I weighed, that's what I weighed, 180.
George is a big guy.
Big man. His hands are just tremendous. And all the way on the right, of course, is Pat Fontenot, successful businessman, president of Williams Life Insurance Company. So what we would, this was taken at a fundraiser given by basically by Doc and Donovan. Chapel services. We built some chapels, or they built a chapel in each prison in the state that wanted one. And George got involved with this. Kerry Daigle was part of this group too. He must have taken the pictures because he's not in it, but Kerry Daigle, who from Opelousas now lives in Lafayette, was instrumental, of course, in kind of connecting us with George Foreman, if my memory serves me right. Then another day we spent, this is at the Louisiana Mansion in Baton Rouge. Right. Our Louisiana...
The Governor's Mansion?
Governor's Mansion. I'll get it out in a minute. And Big George was there. Well, from there, we organized a group that went and spent a day at Angola. And we saw the chapel that the group had already completed. But let me tell you, you don't just go from point A to point X like you want to. You can tell them you're going to the chapel service, but it's hard to get in there without the proper identification.
Sure.
So
and
anyhow,
rightfully so. It needs to be.
This is good. This trip here is a good eye opener for anybody to see.
Sure.
Anybody to see.
Sure. I remember when y'all went and did that.
And Big George got there before us the day at Angola, and he left. We left around 5, 6 o'clock in the afternoon. He left. When he left, it was about 8 o'clock that night. Spent a full day, and other events that he did to help the group.
I've met him twice. He's
chapels.
a good guy.
Oh yeah,
really good guy. You got another picture, I think. You got that one? There you go.
No, talking about
another big guy.
Another big guy, and we're talking about Shaq ONeal. And you know, you just never know who you're gonna see. One of these very well-known, very successful athlete, very successful person as a human being.
Sure.
Shaq ONeal makes all of that. When he first went to LSU to play basketball, I took it upon myself to keep up with him, and I've kept up with him from a distance, from here, reading in the newspaper, watching TV and all. And he has done nothing but good things with his life.
He's been a very positive light on Louisiana. He really has.
And he made friends with City Marshal Brian Pope and his family. And he spent an evening with them at their home in Lafayette. And he was asked different questions by Chris Wartell. Did an interview of Shaq. And where would he like to live if he moved from where he is now? He said, Leonville, Louisiana.
There you go. Can't argue with that. That's
can't
where I
argue
live.
with that. It was an unexpected answer, I'm sure, to Chris, and it was for me too.
Well,
but,
you know why though? He lives in Cecilia, so he's in Cecilia and Leonville.
He has a home. He has a home.
They're sisters, you know. So he's been to Leonville several times.
He has a home. I forgot that in Cecilia. So anyhow, interesting little things that hopefully I'm bringing to you that you maybe didn't get to notice. The 3rd annual Breast Cancer Awareness Ride will be taking place Saturday, October the 10th, and that's the city. It starts off at the City of Opelousas Tourist Center. We'll come back and give you more information on that.
Sure.
And
while you're looking for your other stuff there, I want to remind you again one more time, the UL versus LA Tech game. La Tech will be this Saturday on KLWB on MeTV. That's 50.1. Starts at 6 p.m. and it will be live. So make sure you watch UL in all of their glory live on TV, KLWB. And Tuesday, we're going to have between 6 p.m. and 10 p.m. call in to bid on the annual Opelousas Rotary Club auction. All kinds of items up for sale. Matter of fact, one of those items I saw was dinner for 4 at Steamboat. So you can call in and get that for a low price. So make sure you watch that, and that'll be on KDCG 6 to 10 on Tuesday.
And that gathering we having at Sonia's Donut Sunday at 4 p.m., 4 to 6 this Sunday, October the 4th. The whole idea is to come and meet the people. So I'm inviting you to meet what I hope is our next state senator. State Senator Albert Lee Guillory chose not to run for that position. Instead, he's announced and has qualified as a candidate for Lieutenant Governor of the state of Louisiana. And you know, he's a mixer, a shaker and a mixer, and knows a lot of people. You know, sometimes you catch him kind of sleeping. He's not favored, but he's won when he wasn't favored before. So
I wouldn't put anything past Albert.
And he's from Opelousas, so certainly I can't help but you know, mention that he's one of the candidates there, and good luck to you.
Absolutely.
And the election, of course, is all about sending someone there with experience, someone that can participate and work both sides, the House and the Senate. She'll have these 6 or 8 years of experience on the House side and moving over to the Senate, where she's already been working with a lot of those, so she'll fit right on in there. And I've heard some of the people that lobby for different industries and businesses comment of how easy she is to work with, and how if she gives you her word she's going to be there for you, she will be there for you. And he's kind of pushing my back here and reminding me that the time is now set for our closing, and we close with a prayer. God of goodness, enlarge my heart with your merciful love. Let the miracle of your mercy shine through me for your honor and glory. Thanks for viewing, thanks for listening, and thank you and Dylan for your assistance.